Hi guys, today I am with Rob Fowler, who's currently playing Falco in Bat Out of Hell. So we're going to have a chat and have a few questions and see where we go from there.
Okay.
So what's your first memory of the iconic album that is Bat Out of Hell?
For me, to be honest, I'm probably one of the few that didn't know all of the Jim or Meatloaf songs before I auditioned for the show.
Wow.
Of course, I knew 2 out of 3 and Dead Ringer or All Coming Back to Me Now, Anything for Love. But my first impression of the Bat Out of Hell album was when I got offered the job. So I downloaded that from the digital platform and listened to it day and night and got to know Jim, and then I purchased a few of his other albums, and so that was kind of my first impression of it all.
Oh, interesting. And we're sitting in front of what is the actual stage sort of set?
Yeah, the model of the set, designed by John Borsa.
Yeah.
You have Mini Christina in the top bedroom, and you see in the Falco towers, which are designed like a fretboard of a guitar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then you've got the deep end tunnel, and you've got Andrew Pollard, the Strat in the middle, rocking it out. And we have a tower here on the left, which is named J Tower because it's long and very tall, like our director is. We have, what else do we have? Something like Hope Rock going over the pool. Yeah. The big PA system, and then all the architecture just streaming out into the audience at the Dominion.
Wow, it's amazing, isn't it?
It is. I think it's kind of got that look that's like a Marvel comic.
Yes, it does.
You know, meets the underworld of some vampire-esque feel.
Yeah, I can see that.
Well, here you have in the background here is the bat, which Falco uses for a scene in Act 2, where he's trying to get information from the Lost. And when I was given the bat, I spoke to John Borsa, and looking at his amazing set, there's a lot of so fine detail, attention to detail in his set, that I asked him if I can have a few things on the bat. For instance, you'll notice on the base of the bat there's a skull, and John has used a lot of skull work, whether it's on the lapels of my jackets or the cuffs, or on the couch, or in the decor of Falco Towers inside. So I asked him if I could incorporate the skull on the head of the bat, and then on the front of the bat, I said I would like to have a smiley face because I'm always pointing the bat at people, and then I would turn it around if it's happy or sad. What's your day going to be like today? And about a week later, John came to me and he handed me this bat.
That's amazing. So it's good that you've had a real input on that. So what have you got a favourite number that you absolutely adore doing in the show?
Yes, I adore doing both What Part of My Body Hurts the Most, which is an original Jim Steinman song, which is between me and my wife Sloane, who's played by Sharon Sexton, and Paradise by the Dashboard Light, which is basically just it's eye candy. And it's when we reminisce where it all began.
Yeah, amazing. Yes. Your fans have actually asked me, how do you feel about the fan base that's coming and sort of growing as we speak, really? So,
yeah, I mean, it's tremendous. Yeah. There's no fan base like the Bat Out of Hell. Yeah. They're like Bat family. And they not only support us, but they support each individual of the cast. They really try to promote each individual. Yeah. And as you see, we'll probably see later, the room here, the Steinman Suite, and each individual from the ensemble, and it is a big ensemble show, has a character name. It's not just third from the right or whatever. Everybody has a purpose in this show.
That's quite unusual as well, isn't it? As my experience, that's quite unusual to have.
For sure it is. I mean, the last show I worked where you really felt that the show is an ensemble was Cats. Yeah. And that was a good near 20 years ago when I did that. And this is the closest I've ever felt to an ensemble show since Cats, and this is Bat Out of Hell, because that final bow is for the company, and without this sounding too cliche, the star is the show. The star of the show is the show. Yes. That's it.
Yeah, it's one unit, isn't it?
The show is the star, not the star is the show. That's right. Sorry, it's early. 6 o'clock in the morning here, you know. I always dress like this at 6.
Yeah, but let's just mention the shoes.
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about. What shoes?
The shoes are amazing. Yes. Absolutely. Very Falco, actually.
Yes. They were
definitely a statement.
They were a present I bought myself for the What's on Stage Awards when I was very honoured to get nominated for Best Supporting Actor in a musical.
Yeah.
And so my friends, well, Sharon Sexton was one, and my sister-in-law said you have to get a pair of Louboutins.
Lovely, and they are amazing.
They glitter,
they are amazing.
They really do shine. Let's get those in the light.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
So, okay, so...
It's the grand day out today.
I'm very honoured. Thank you for wearing them. So, you know, we, as I say, we've talked about the show, we've talked about your favourite numbers and so forth. What's been your best role to date, would you? Is this your best role? Or have
it's
you
definitely one of them.
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because it's one of the only roles where I've really been included in creating the character.
Right.
So it's, you know, I've done reworked shows and I've done original shows before, but I've never done a show with the amount of teamwork and the fortune that has been put into this, not only invested from emotions, but, you know, obviously from the producers and the trust of the director. And I feel that if somebody comes to see Bat Out of Hell for the first time and they enjoy the character that I've created, and I have to give credit also to my co-partner Sharon Sexton and Jay Shipe, naturally the director, who helped me form Falco the way it is. But then if you went off and read in the programme what I've played so far, you'd probably see a little bit of my resume in Falco.
Sort of coming through, sort of feeling through.
You'd probably see like elements of, Rob did Rocky Horror, or Rob did Galileo in We'll Rock You, or Rob played Jesus, or Rob did Next to Normal, and you go, Falco is not a one-dimensional villain.
It's building up to this stage.
It really is. I think he has so many colours, and they're complemented by each individual in the show. And I always say I'm not an actor, I'm a reactor. So whatever somebody gives me on stage, I will play a good game of tennis.
I like that. I like
Metaphor is my middle name.
And so, obviously, it's a very reactive show, isn't
yes,
it?
It is. It's kind of audience.
The audience get behind you. Am I right in
that? For sure, yeah. That's why it's. I mean, it's not the Rocky Horror Show, but it's got a Rocky Horror Show element where it's got a cult following.
Definitely.
Especially on, you know, Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights. It's just got another element to the ingredients. Yeah, because the audience, they come prepared.
Yeah.
They know the Jim Steinman catalogue of songs. Yeah. They sing along. We have an array of different kinds of fans that are either dressed as Strat or Sloan or Falco.
Really?
Yes, you really do.
Really?
Especially the merchandise stands. I mean, if they don't get on it, because a lot of the younger generation have made their own Strat t-shirts, so a lot come in the red t-shirt with the two with the equal sign, and you see it in
it's
the
really
in
taken
the
on a life of its own.
It really
now,
has.
Isn't it?
It really, really
so,
has.
I mean, I saw it in the Coliseum first time, and I loved it. And then I saw it again, and I'm seeing it again tonight.
Okay, fabulous.
I do absolutely love it. I think it's because it's something different, and I guess that's what we're struggling for in the West End. It's something completely different, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the difference between a typical love story in the theatre and a dysfunctional love story, which is kind of Bat Out of Hell, is not only the Romeo and Juliet of, you know, the north and south pole of personality meeting and then actually connecting, which is the Strat and Raven kind of couple, which are for all the, how do you say, how do I put this best? Misunderstood teenagers of today. Yeah. They can relate to these two characters, maybe. Yeah. And it has a touch of Forever Young feel. And then you've got the dysfunctional family
I was just going to say
my character, Falco and Sloan, which are for the, you know, the older generation or the adults of today, where they've all been through the occasional argument or, you know, roller coaster of a marriage, and they're still together because they believed in it. Yeah. So we've got those two elements. So you've got a bit for the younger generation, you've got a bit for the older generation, and what this show has is it's so fresh and fast and witty.
It's very fast,
and it's so modern. But if you're in the age between 35 and 65, you go home, and I've heard audience members say they've taken out their old albums. And it doesn't just have to be Jim Steinman, but they've taken out that era and it's brought it back. And they said, and they even have the craving for the food that they ate during that era.
It makes you regress to that time, and it's for most, it's a happy period, and probably in their life, and it's kind of.
And everybody has a wild side.
Yeah.
And maybe most people experience that wild side between the ages of 18 and 35.
Yeah.
And if you're now in your 60s, you can probably open up and tell something to your children that you probably weren't ready to tell at that point. And this show opens that book of, hey, you know what? I also had a good time in my 20s.
You're just not having all the fun.
No.
I had some too.
We wrote the book, and here it is.
Exactly. I'm conscious of time, so let's just sort of talk about the 3 questions that I have.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh no, I'm nervous. No
they
swearing.
are fun. They are fun. So, okay, if you could go back in time to any period, when would you go back to and why?
The first one's going to be a sad answer. Is that allowed?
Yeah.
I would go back to a year before my father died. He died when I was 21 in my arms. That's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But I guess because my dad died so young, it's what pushed me away and ran away from my engineering life.
Wow.
And took to the stage. So on one side it had a positive effect on my life, but I would go back to that time to say to the doctors that you've misdiagnosed him for 6 months, he's not got glandular fever, he's got cancer. Deal with it. But it was too late. So I would go back there.
Yeah, and that's...
But for 2 reasons.
Yeah, but that's, you know... It's
hopefully I would have... Sorry, it's a bit sad, isn't it? Oh, that's 25 years ago, so that's... I've dealt with that. But,
no, that's a good answer. So, okay, if you could have a superpower or be a superhero, who or what would you have and why?
Oh, wow. I think if I had a superpower, it would probably be something... Superman sounds so obvious, but I think he's the one who can basically... Who I'd most prefer to be.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'd say Superman, and the reason would be just because I could not only have X-ray vision, but which would be kind of cool. But I think he always sensed when something was going wrong, and I'm a fixer. Yeah. You know, that's what it is. That's why it would be Superman.
That's good, and that's the reason why I ask these questions.
Yeah. Maybe one time in paradise I'll wear a pair of Superman pants.
And the 3rd question is, if you could invite anybody to a dinner party, 3 people, dead or alive, who would you invite? But what would your theme be?
My theme? Dead or alive. I mean, everybody goes for like world leaders and stuff. And so I would actually love to have met Ronnie Barker.
Oh wow! Yeah.
He's one of my comedy hero legends. So I've definitely put him on the list because I think that he just had funny bones. Yeah. And I just love everything about Ronnie Barker. Also on that, I would love to have met Freddie Mercury, because he's probably one of the best vocalists and performers of all time. So there we are, we've got 2 artists. Yeah. And on top of all that, I think I would love to have met... I think I'd love to have met Nelson Mandela.
Gosh, yes.
So I think they're the 3. I think it would be an interesting conversation at that.
Yeah, definitely. So Ronnie Barker, Freddie Mercury, Nelson Mandela. Yeah, that would be that'd be really interesting and fascinating to see.
Because I think you're joining not only because Ronnie Barker was a very private person.
Yes.
I think actually Freddie was in quite a way, but he was such an eccentric kind of person.
Yeah, very enigmatic.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that he would have, and to have then somebody like Nelson Mandela in the room, so you've got 3 really
calming,
grounded, but very iconic people of our generation.
Fabulous. Fabulous. I like that. I like that. That would be great.
Good dinner party. But the theme, I don't know what the theme was.
Great minds.
Yeah, it could be like that, couldn't it?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, because they are great minds in their own.
Yeah.
Yeah, in their own.
It would have been nice to have Einstein as well, I guess.
You can have both.
Yeah.
Okay. So finally, tell my audience. My audience is very jazz handy, and they're very.
Oh, wow.
They
will love my shoes.
Yeah, they will love your shoes.
Definitely love my shoes.
Tell my audience why they should come and see the show, because I'm coming for the third time tonight. I love it.
Okay. So the reason why you should come and see the show, just amplified by your host of the show here today, is because it's addictive. Jim Steinman's songs are not only fantastic the first time, but they just get better and better and better. It's 3 shows for the price of 1. It's a rock opera. It's got audience participation moments, and it's a modern day love story for all generations. It's the most eye-candy-ish, bombastic vision of an experience. It's got the best special effects in the West End. And if you want to see the vocal Olympians of London's West End, this is where they are at. There are many wonderful, talented vocalists in London's West End, but from my experience, I'm on stage with the best of the best.
There you go. So with the best of the best. So thank you very much for your time today, Rob.
Thank you.
It's really been good. And you guys, you've got to come and see this.
Yeah,
Bad
Dominion Theatre.
It's on until the 28th of October, isn't it?
Is it October now?
Yes.
I know we keep, by public demand, we are, you know, you keep buying the tickets, we'll keep extending.
I hope you've got to extend. You've got to make it and I'm going to ask you now, you've got to extend it by at least 1 week, because this is where I want to be for my 50th birthday. It's the 2nd of November, so 1 week, that's all I ask.
Okay, we will do our best. We will do our best. Please do your best. Come and see us.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Take care.
Woo! We are in the Jim Steinman Suite, and we're just taking a look around the walls. I mean, look at this memorabilia, and we've heard earlier about how Rob helped design this, and look at all these are all the ensemble, which again, as you heard earlier, they actually, every single person in the ensemble has a character and a character name, and they have their own characterization, so that's really very different in the West End. And then we've got this amazing poster here, which we guessed earlier where Rob actually signed, and if you have a look, you'll be able to spot the signature. I'm not going to zoom in because I'm not going to give it away, so you take a look, and then there's just all kinds of memorabilia and stuff that's really, really fascinating. So that's a little sneaky peek of where we are, and Rob's still there.
Yes, I am.
And thanks for watching, guys. Bye.